Every Saturday, at precisely 2 o'clock, he'd walk into the bookstore on Pine Street. His name was Leo, and he had a thing for classic literature, the kind with worn spines and the faint scent of vanilla. And every Saturday, at precisely 2:01, I'd be there, shelving the new arrivals in the fiction aisle. My name's Clara. I live for the thrill of a first edition and the crisp crackle of a new book. Spine. Our little ritual started over a copy of Pride and Prejudice. He claimed Mr. Darcy was just a product of his time, misunderstood and unfairly judged. I argued he was the blueprint for every brooding, emotionally unavailable man in literary history. The debate was fierce, whispered between the shelves of Austen and the Brontes. Our first argument, it was wonderful. From then on, it became our thing. Every Saturday, a new book, a new debate. Was Moby Dick really about a whale, or was it a metaphor for an obsessive, self-destructive quest? He said obsession, I said. Sometimes a whale is just a whale. We'd get so into it, other customers would stop to listen, sometimes even taking sides. Our bookstore owner, Mr. Harrison, just smiled and shook his head, muttering something about the literary duelists. Leo would always find the most obscure points to argue. He'd bring up historical context, authorial intent, Freudian analysis. I'd counter with character motivations, narrative structure, and the pure, unadulterated feeling a story gives you. He was all logic and reason. I was all heart and intuition. He thought The Great Gatsby was a critique of the American dream. I thought it was just a tragic love story. He saw the political allegory in Animal Farm. I saw the heartbreaking betrayal of trust. We were total opposites, a living, breathing study in contrast. He wore tweed jackets, even in the summer. He wore band t-shirts and paint-splattered jeans. His favorite drink was black coffee. Mine was a sugary latte with extra foam. But under all those layers of debate and difference, something else was happening. I started noticing the way his eyes would light up when he was making a particularly strong point, the way he'd run a hand through his messy hair when he was searching for the right words. I began looking forward to Saturdays more than any other day of the week. I'd find myself preparing, rereading chapters, thinking of counter-arguments, just to keep the conversation going. It wasn't just about winning the debate anymore. It was about the debate itself. It was about him. One Saturday, it was raining. The kind of rain that makes you want to curl up with a good book and never leave. The bookstore was quiet, the air smelling of wet coats and old paper. Leo arrived, shaking the water from his umbrella, a copy of 100 Years of Solitude tucked under his arm. Ready for round? What are we on? He asked, a small smile playing on his lips. I think so, I replied. And you're wrong, by the way. Magical realism isn't a coup-out. It's a legitimate narrative device. He laughed, a warm, genuine sound that echoed in the quiet store. I haven't even said anything yet. You were thinking it. I could see it in your eyes, I teased. But that day, our debate felt different. It was softer, less about proving a point, and more about sharing a world. We talked about the Bundia family, about destiny, and about the bittersweet nature of time. We weren't arguing. We were exploring. For the first time, we found ourselves agreeing on more things than we disagreed on. We agreed that solitude can be both a curse and a comfort, that love can be a powerful, chaotic force, and that some stories feel so real, they become a part of you. As the afternoon light faded, Mr. Harrison began turning off the lights, signaling it was time to close. Leo and I were the only ones left. You know, he started, his voice suddenly quiet. I've been thinking, a dangerous pastime for you, I joked, but my heart was beating a little faster. He ignored my jab. All this time, we've been arguing about characters in books, about their motivations, their feelings, their love stories. He looked at me then, really looked at me, and it felt like the whole world paused, but we've never talked about our own. I held my breath. The space between us, usually filled with the ghosts of fictional characters and literary theories, was suddenly charged with something new. Something real. Maybe, he continued, taking a small step closer. It's because we've been writing one, right? Between the shelves. My argument for the day, my carefully prepared thesis on Gabriel Garcia Marquez, evaporated from my mind. All I could think about was the story he was suggesting. Our story. A story that didn't need to be analyzed or debated. It just needed to be read. Leo, I whispered, the name feeling different on my tongue. Mora, personnel. I know we disagree on almost everything, he said, his voice a low murmur. But I was hoping you might agree to get a coffee with me, somewhere other than a bookstore. And maybe we don't have to argue. A smile spread across my face, slow and then all at once. I think, I said. For the first time, we are in complete and total agreement. He didn't just walk me to the door that day. He walked me to the coffee shop down the street. And as we sat there, talking about everything and nothing, I realized our story was just beginning. It turns out, all those Saturdays arguing over fictional love stories, we were just practicing for our own. Chapter 1 had just been written, and I couldn't wait to see what the next page would hold. The bookstore on Pine Street was where it began, but the rest of the story, well, that was ours to write. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this little story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. See you next time.